Good morning, everybody. This is our monthly Women in Business meeting. It is May. Can you believe it? Time is just flying by. So we're going to kick off our meeting with introductions. I'll call out 3 people just so you know you can get ready with your audio, and then we'll call out another 3 people after that before we get to our speaker for today. So let's start with Erika, Danielle, and Anne.
Good morning, everybody. Erika Boyer, Edward Jones here in Marlboro, New Jersey, helping individuals and small business owners in terms of meeting your financial goals, and especially helping women make sure that they feel empowered in terms of their financial wellness. Thank you.
Thank you, Erika.
Good morning, I am Danielle Woolley. Today is my birthday,
Yay,
and I'm stating that because I can never come to these meetings, but I can today because I took the day off. My full-time job is at a company called WIB. I will be there for 15 years in this coming June, and I'm a strategic customer success consultant there. And as far as my businesses go, I work with helping women to connect their businesses with community, going through transitions I've been sharing with you ladies for the last few months, and currently focusing on raising funds for helping to humanely trap and rescue and rehabilitate stray cats in my local area.
Thank you so much, Danielle.
Good morning, ladies. I'm coming on screen for this. Andrea Murphy, Heartland Payment Systems, working with small businesses. I'm a small business advocate, and I'm just happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. All right, so next we will do Carrie, Ro, and Laura.
Good morning, Carrie Kuskowski. I'm with The Connection, the Marketing and Business Development Manager in Hazlet.
Thank you.
Good morning, Rölke DeSaro. My business is Gutsy Gals Get More. And a little thing about me is that I've been the woman that's been telling women they could have it all for the last 40 years or so.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Laura Matlaga. I'm health and wellness advocate. I am extremely passionate about Young Living essential oils. I call it God in a bottle, and just help to relax you, feel calmer, and support every system in your body. A fact about me is I love to sing, and I sing all the time. In the shower, I break out in song. I miss the choir, so that's a little fun fact about me.
Nice.
And I don't care who's listening. And I love a good fundraiser. I just if you need something or you want something, you know, to me to jump on board with, I will help you as much as I can. God bless.
Thank you, Laura. All right. Okay, so let's go to Sherilyn. I don't know, Nancy's on the phone, and Janice.
All right, good morning, Sherilyn Przlomski, Business Enhancement Services and Training Consulting. I'm a certified HR professional. This means I keep up on all those employment laws. I assist business with all the audits and management training and just really navigating the laws.
Nice, thank you.
I'm Nancy. I've been with M&T Bank for more than 6 years, and I like to help the customer to achieve their goals. And I've been involved in the Freehold community for more than 20 years, helping the schools and everything, and the church and everything.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I'm glad you're joining us today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Janice Giese. I am the practice administrator for Sure Gastroenterology. So if any of you are approaching age 45 or up, we do colonoscopies and take care of all other GI needs. Thank you.
Fantastic. Welcome. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
And Dorothea?
Hi, everybody. I'm going to keep my camera off since my camera is so wonky this morning.
Oh, I was thinking of that word, wonky.
It is really wonky. I have to really address this issue. But anyway, it's nice to be here. I think most of you know I've been in financial services for over 35 years. Our team helps our clients to grow, protect, enjoy, and distribute their wealth in a smart and tax-efficient manner. Fun fact, I'm also the co-founder of the Victor Zando Foundation, which is a charity 501c3 that was started in memory of my brother. And I'm really excited because we actually are planning our in-person event for September 4th. at the Colts Neck Firehouse. We're having a good old fashioned family picnic with games and music, and it should be a lot of fun. So you'll all be getting an invitation. If any of you have any ideas or sponsorship interest or anything like that, I'd love to have a conversation. I know a lot of us are involved in nonprofits, so we'd love to have a conversation about that. Thanks.
Thanks, Dorothea. And we have Jackie and Oriana.
Okay, thank you. I'm not going on on live, but Jackie Berman, Legal Shield ID Shield, thank you. Well, first of all, I want to wish Danielle a happy birthday. and then I will, with Legal Shield and ID Shield, I never talk about the actual benefits that you could get. We have something called member perks. Once that you're a member, you get discounts to a whole lot of things that will offset the actual cost of Legal Shield and ID Shield. And we also just launched something called ID Shield for Business. It was just launched 2 weeks ago. We have lots of new things coming out. Love to talk to you about our product. So thank you, Jackie Berman, Legal Shield, ID Shield.
Thank you, Jackie.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Oriana Colella. I'm the owner of Caliber Construction located in Monmouth County, Manalapan. I missed quite a bit of this meeting, so I'm sorry. It kept kicking me out and now I'm back. So I missed a lot of, I'm sure, important information. We do a lot of interior and commercial renovations. We do kitchens, bathrooms, moldings, floorings. We do stone fronts, Trex decking. We're pretty much your one-stop shop for anything you might need for your commercial residential space. We do not believe in subbing out any of the work. The only thing we do not do is roofing and siding. We do have a decent Rolodex of people that we could refer you to. I always ask people that if you were looking to do something, always give us a call first, because if we can't do it, we will always refer you to somebody that can. Definitely looking forward to finding more information about this Women in Business. This is my first time here. I'm very excited. Thanks for having me. And thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much, Oriana. And you really didn't miss anything. We had technical difficulties at our end, which is why we had to send out a new invite. And we're doing this in reverse. I know you were at the perk on Friday. We usually do speaker first and then introductions after. We're doing it in reverse here at this meeting. So you didn't miss much at all, just a couple of introductions, and we are recording it for YouTube so you can catch it later. All right. Okay, so with that, we're actually all caught up now because I wanted to start Joanne at 9 o'clock, and it's almost 9 o'clock. So this is perfect. So Joanne, I just want to read your, oh, you know what? Let's see. I have your bio, of course, with everything else going on. Here it is. Okay. So I'm just going to read a little bit of Joanne's bio here, and then she could get started with her presentation, which I'm definitely looking forward to. So she's married. She's her husband's name is Frank. They'll be married 34 years in November. Very nice, Joanne. Congratulations. She's got children, Maria, 30 years old, married. Thomas, 28, married. Brian, single and 26. That's good to know. And a grandson, Jason, who's 18 months and adorable. And we see her all the time on Facebook with him, and we love those pictures. Her interests: travel, writing, photography, volunteering, concerts and other live music venues, getting together with friends and family whenever possible. That sounds like everything I like, Joanne. That's awesome. She's in Homedale for 24 years. 24 years.
Yeah.
And something she would love
Brooklyn born and bred.
Brooklyn
born and bred.
That's
I left that out.
There's a bunch of us who's from Brooklyn. Raise your hand. All right. There's a few of us in Dorothea. All right. Something you would love to do but have not. Take a long European cruise and take a long cross-country trip around the United States. That sounds lovely. Fun fact that most people don't know about you. You practically grew up, I love this. She practically grew up at Madison Square Garden because her dad worked there for decades. And then she worked there too. That's fun. As a result, she had the privilege of attending countless concerts and entertainment events for many years and had some awesome memories, including meeting her future husband through a chance encounter at a Jackson Browne concert. That's cool.
And Bruce came
Wow.
on for the encore.
That's awesome. Favorite quote. Two favorite quotes. Live well, love much, laugh often. Very nice. And either write something worth reading or do something worth writing by Benjamin Franklin. Beautiful. Of course, a writer would say something like that, right?
Yeah.
Secret to your success, always trying to do my personal best, whatever it is I'm doing, and to always do right by others and pay it forward, both personally, professionally, with honesty, integrity, and kindness. That is so you. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that information with us. And Joanne is an incredible writer. She has been the editor-in-chief for the Journal. We are lucky enough to have her as part of our chamber. She does a lot of writing for the chamber now, and I'm very proud to introduce Joanne Colella.
Thank you. Well, I know about the chamber actually from being a writer and the editor-in-chief for so many years of the magazines, because I was always getting the press releases. Thank you, Sherilyn. I think she's probably the one who was sending them the most. So it wasn't until I decided to step down from that career and finally start my own business back in 2018 that I was able to explore joining the chamber on my own as my own business. So I joined at the end of 2019, got to enjoy, I think, every single meeting at the beginning of 2020 in person until COVID hit, and then we made the transition to Zoom. So I have now embraced the powers of Zoom, except for this morning when no one could get on. Yes, my whole background has basically been publishing, marketing, advertising. When I was at Madison Square Garden, I actually helped them launch their first in-house advertising agency and did some of their ads and some writing, some artwork. Then I spent some years at an advertising agency. Then I was having the 3 kids, did a lot of pro bono work. And then I started at the Journal about 20 years ago, actually. So I was doing a lot of press releases for all kinds of organizations. So I wrote for a while. I had my own column with the Two River Times every week. And then I just started writing just about all the content for the journals and headed it up. So this is how I found out about an awful lot of businesses and nonprofits all throughout Monmouth County. And once I took over that position, the universe just exploded, and it's so impressive how many great businesses and how many incredible organizations there are going on in this area. There's something, at least pre-COVID, there was something going on every night of the week for good causes, and I'm glad to see things are finally reopening and everyone can get back up and running again the way they want it to be. So I'm the speaker this morning. I guess I'm going to have to share a screen.
Yes,
Terese?
share your screen. And her topic.
I have the capability?
Yeah, you should have the capability. And I love your topic, selling the 7 C's with the letter C of communication. I love it.
Yes. Okay, let me see here. Let me make sure I get my screen up. Full screen mode. And I'll hit the little share button.
Yes. Yay, it's working.
Share.
Oh,
you see that?
Lovely. Look at that.
Hey. Thanks to Canva, which I also got better versed in, thanks to the chamber. So yes, the topic today is sailing the 7 C's of communication. And forgive me if I have a little bit of a lisp, I just had dental work done. And this pretty much would apply to any kind of communication that you're doing, whether it's internal communication in your company, if you're doing marketing for your business, your organization, I've seen a lot of book projects going on because of COVID. It seems that a lot of people with all this time on their hands have decided to pursue their long lost dream of writing books and memoirs and ebooks. So hopefully all of these are tips that would apply to any of those. Okay, so the 7 C's that I came up with, plus a bonus one because I really had a hard time narrowing it down, are confidence, creativity, clarity, concise, community, comprehensive, correct, and conscientious. So starting off with confidence. You're the one who knows best about yourself, your business, and your organization. There's no one better to help spread that word. Be confident about what you do and what you have to offer to benefit others. Let it shine in whatever messages you share. If you believe in yourself and your services, others will believe in them too. So put your heart into what you put out there. If people see you're enthusiastic about what you do, they'll understand, they'll get it. Most of the most enjoyable stories and articles I've had to write about are about people and places and events where people are just passionate about it. And then it would come through in whatever news that they shared. Creativity. Be creative, whether it's a marketing message for your business, a fundraising appeal for your organization, or the book you've always wanted to write because now you're home with COVID. While still following best practices, make use of clever headlines, eye-catching graphics, like you can find on Canva, and content that reflects your unique voice to make your message memorable. Obviously, there are going to be some rules that you have to follow, social media guidelines, certainly grammar and style and all of that. But there are a lot of ways that you can personalize what you put out there so that you don't sound like every other business. You don't sound exactly like your competitor. You don't sound like another organization that's making a pitch for fundraising. Put a different twist on it and make it clear why it's unique. Clarity. What is it you're trying to ask or tell about your products, your cause, or your story? Make your objective clear, whether it's promoting a sale, offering services, announcing an event, asking for donations, or seeking new members. Remember that you might be reaching out to a wide and diverse audience with different levels of comprehension, experience, and needs. I have written for certain businesses that are very technical, or medical professionals, high-end construction equipment, where they are targeting to their peers within that industry, and they have to write at a very high technical level. But generally, when you're marketing your message to the general public, avoid using industry jargon that may make perfect sense to you, but the average reader might not grasp it. Explain it in layman's terms and in a relatable way how you can benefit them. And that's a very easy trap to fall into, because I know so many people who are excellent at what they do. They're geniuses. They just live and breathe what they do. And sometimes you forget that other people don't get it at the same level that you do. And if you're trying to sell to the man on the street, or customers who are seeking services, but they don't know all the nuts and bolts of what your industry does, try and make it explainable to them so that they get it. Concise. And I actually found this ironic doing this slide, because it's about being concise and it's probably the wordiest one, but it's challenging to use fewer words when you have a lot to say. In today's busy and hurried society, attention spans are shorter. News articles are often merely snippets, and that can be frustrating. You'll send out a long press release, and then when it appears in print, you might just see a paragraph. Social media, all the platforms have word count limits on how it best shows when you get cut off. And editors who receive press releases look for important details in that first paragraph or two without having to pour through a lengthy narrative. So if you're sending out a press release, make sure all the vital details are up front. Make it concise, use a great headline and subhead, and then follow up with additional details later in the body of the text. And also, if you're sending out a press release, make sure you include a copy letter in the email. Again, just with a paragraph saying, attach, please find a press release about X, and give the pertinent facts. And then both copy the press release into the body of that email and attach it, because a lot of places, because of security issues with internet and all of that, they will not open attachments, or it'll bounce back. So make sure you put your news into any emails as well. This is community. Effective communication is not all about telling the world what you can do. It's about telling the world what you can do for them. Think about what matters to your customers, what their needs are, how you can address them, and similar solutions that you've already provided for others. Be able to give examples of what you've done. Additionally, when faced with numerous business options, sometimes the tipping point for a potential customer is that human interest story. And that's what I love to do, telling the story behind the story. Consider sharing info, even on your website, your press releases, articles you have done. Share info about your own background, why your business is important to you, and the ways you give back to the community. If someone's trying to decide between several nonprofits where they're going to donate at the end of the year, or if they need a plumber and they have choices, or whatever it may be, where they want to shop, you never know how you're going to touch someone's heart. And if they see that that you support a cause that's important to them, or that you give back to their community in special ways, that may be the deciding factor why they'll decide to use you and seek you out. Comprehensive. There are many ways to communicate your message these days. Use as many of them as possible to create a comprehensive marketing plan. And it's also hard to remember, and you should remember, don't try and do them all at once. Roll them out a little at a time if you have to, so you see how effective each one of them is being. But don't overlook the advantages of quality content everywhere for your website, press releases, email blasts, social media posts, and all the different kinds of marketing materials, flyers, direct mail, brochures. Target different sets of eyes looking at different communication platforms and expand your reach to new audiences. Particularly for a lot of old timers, it's hard to embrace the social media, or they may be used to selling to a particular clientele and they don't realize that, hey, maybe if we try this, we'll bring in a different audience. So don't be afraid to try different platforms. Correct. Once you've figured out what you want to say, make sure it's correct. Proofread and edit more than once. Have other people proofread and edit for you. Have family and friends, coworkers, professional proofreaders and editors. It can be very hard to proofread your own work because you know it so well. Your eyes often play tricks. You'll read a sentence and not see the errors or details you may have overlooked. You see it in context in your mind and you know, oh, those words should all be there, and they're not all there. One old hack is to read your content backward, and that forces your brain and your eyes to examine each word one at a time rather than in the context of a sentence. When putting together information for an event, be sure to include the date, the time, the location, fees for tickets, deadlines for people to sign up, to become ad sponsors, any contact info. Readers can't follow up on ads or articles that mistakenly omit those details. Hopefully, if they see an article and it intrigues them and that's missing, they'll call someone to try and find out. But a lot of times they'll just walk away. And it's amazing how many times I've seen an article in a newspaper where I say, okay, where is this happening? And they left out details like that. Conscientious. Well, admittedly, it may not matter to some, people will notice, either consciously or subconsciously, quality communication. If it's obvious that you're conscientious about your marketing, your audience will be more likely to assume that you're conscientious in other ways too. The quality of your products, your customer service, your follow-up, your responsiveness, it's all in the details. And yes, a lot of people out there will not be obsessive about writing skills and perfect grammar and spelling and all of that. But on some level, they will notice. And if your introduction to the world is your marketing and your communication, that's your first chance at getting it right and getting them in the door. That's my 7 C's, 8 C's. Conscientious was the eighth one. So let me know if you have any questions.
I have a question, Joanne. It's Dorothea with the bad screen.
Hello.
First of all, thank you for all of this. It was excellent. But have you seen, I've been struggling with a marketing template, like a marketing calendar template that I really like. I created my own, but I'm not sure I love it. Do you know of any good, marketing calendar kind of templates, or have you seen any or know where to go to get them?
As far, you mean like a template that gives you ideas of what kind of content to publish throughout a month? I know I do get a lot of
keeping you on track, like more keeping you on track. Like the one I have goes by quarter. So what's, what is in this quarter, whether it's, a holiday or financial literacy month, or, there's ideas in it, but it's more of a calendar to say, post on this day, versus kind of ideas.
Yes, I have seen things like that. I mean, I haven't, I don't think I've specifically Googled things like that in a while, because I'm so many writing and editing and marketing email lists and groups that I know there are organizations out there that distribute those, and I can forward some of those to you. And they're really cool. And some of them take different approaches. Some of them focus on the holidays and how to play into those themes. Some of them are more of a checklist, a daily or a weekly or a monthly checklist. Have you sent out an email today? Have you done a social media post today? Have you? So yeah, there are different varieties of that, and I can share some of those with you.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
I have a question for you. Because you're so wonderful with words and you gave me so many tips already today that I'm going to use, so thank you so much. If you had to cram, and for those who know me, you're going to start laughing, cram 1 million words into 3 sentences when it comes to talking about yourself, what is one tip maybe you can share on what topic to focus on to make part of those 3 sentences? Because I'm working on being more concise, and since you mentioned concise, I figured you might be the go-to.
Right. Well, the first question would be, what's your target? Who's your target audience that you're presenting those 3 sentences to? So if you're, like I know you said you're involved with cat rescue. So certainly you'd want to have one of those sentences relate to that, why that organization. Or you have a cat, you've been a cat lover, what your goal is for cat rescue. If it's for a professional audience, you're going to want to touch on, briefly, what some of your professional highlights have been. So it's really kind of a trick question.
It is not intentionally.
Who it is that you're talking to.
Yeah. No, that's very helpful because it's kind of a mix of a couple of things. So I might, that was very helpful.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost the same way, the same notion of sending out resumes. In job search world, they advise you to have several versions of your resume, because you'll have multiple skills, and not every position that you may be applying for will be looking for the exact order of skills that you have, or the exact focus that you may have in one version of your resume. So you tweak it so that you have, depending on what position you're applying for, you'll make that resume fit. So it's the same thing when you're trying to do a bio for yourself. Think first about who you're targeting with those lines, and then you tweak it from there.
Thank you. So rather than trying to fit everything in for the whole entire lifespan, it's just who you're speaking to. Thank you. That was so simple.
Right. And what's going to be most important to them. Yeah. Anybody else?
I have a question. Very great. Really, really good presentation. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm working now with, yeah, really, I wrote lots of notes and took some screenshots. And I like the 7 Cs. I'm a voter, so you got my attention in the beginning. I like the picture. So what I wanted to ask you is I have a Google Calendar, and now I'm also have Time Trade, and I want to link my Zoom link to the Time Trade. So my question is, what do you feel is better? Is that too much going back and forth between the Google Calendar and the Time Trade? Should I just have one? Because
Well,
it's all
first of all,
linked
forgive
to
me,
my phone.
what's Time Trade?
Oh, Time Trade is to
What
look
is
at my
Time Trade?
Time Trade is to look at my calendar and book an appointment, 15, 20, 15, 30 or an hour appointments to speak with me.
Okay. And what was the question?
So I have a Google Calendar and I have the time. So I have a Google Calendar and a Time Trade account, like to book appointments. So I'm asking what do you feel is better? So I'm not sure. You're not familiar with the Time Trade? It's just a like calendar.
No, I live by my Google Calendar personally. So, but I'll check into that other program. I rely heavily on Google, and I said within Google, I design different calendars. So I will have, because you can color code them. So you have different calendars. So I will have a calendar for each of my clients, and I break it down into what project I'm working on by certain deadlines. So within Google, you can do that. You can compartmentalize, and when you call it up on your screen, you can see everything all together on one calendar, or you can just uncheck the boxes in the left column and see one calendar at a time, what it is that you're working on.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to check more into the Google. Yeah, I was playing around with it last night with the color coding, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have time for one more question. Ro?
So help me with this, because I always have this block with copywriters, because that's your expertise is copywriting. I've always, because I'm so much into the human interest piece, that's always me, and showing up authentically and showing up in my style. And what blocks me with getting copywriters, it's like I always feel like, how are they going to get to know me? How's it going to sound like me? How does that happen? So can you just walk through that process a little bit to help me overcome that block? I'm sure a lot of people have that block.
For when you're working with a copywriter, how to make them sound like you?
I'm almost like I don't hire copywriters because I just feel like it's going to take forever to get them to know me, and this is like a long-term process, and blah 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 blah. So those are my limiting beliefs.
Sure.
I'd like to hear how you could help me overcome those limiting beliefs that I'm sure a lot of people have.
Yeah. Well, that's actually that's something that I like to tell anyone that I do write for. And ever since I launched my business, it's been astounding the range of projects that I've worked on and all different kinds of clients. I mean, books from authors in Saudi Arabia and all over the country and all kinds of businesses. And one thing that I always tell them, no matter what it is that I'm working on, that I will never mess around with their own voice. Whatever I write, I will make it as perfect as possible, but I will not change their tone and their style and their authentic voice. The way I do it, I can't vouch for other copywriters. I'm very big on research. So usually anyone that I write with, I will, look up their website, their Facebook page, their marketing materials, things that they've already done and have already approved and that they already like. I will ask them that, obviously, because they may have hated what someone else created for them. So I will take a look at anything that they have that they like. So I get an idea of content that's already been produced. And what I usually do, well, before COVID, I would do it in person. Now I do it a lot by phone or by Zoom. I'll interview them. I'll sit and I'll talk with them. I used to take furious notes, and now I've learned better. And I will actually tape the conversation and let them know that. And just through casual conversation, that's how personalities come through. And I'll find out what's important to them and what their attitudes are, and whether they want to put out more aggressive messages or more homey messages, things like that. And that's when I will get a feel for what their voice is. And then I'll create the content for them and say, okay, what do you think of this? Or I'll even ask them, send me a draft. Don't worry about making it perfect. Don't worry about the grammar and the spelling and the punctuation and all of that. Just write freely, whatever comes into your head, the message you're trying to get across, send it to me, and then I can use that as my basis and clean it up for you. And that way, it's being said that the way they want to say it, but I just perfect it.
Beautiful.
So
Thank you.
That's
Helpful.
That's my way of doing it.
Thank you for sharing that. It's great.
And with that, Joanne, amazing presentation, as I knew it would be. You are just so full of great information. And I know this is going to help a lot of people. And I'm glad it's going to be available on our YouTube channel for other folks to tap into and see at their convenience. So thank you very much. Love the graphics. Isn't Canva great?
Canva is wonderful. I've had Canva for years, but now I'm using it more.
Yeah, I just learned how to do it with Dawn when she taught us all in the class that we had. So I'm making use of it as well. So thank you very much, and we will we'll talk further.